Good day, viewers. This is Tommy Talks Legal. We say a very big thank you to all those who have subscribed to our YouTube channel, to all those making it a duty to share with your audience, and to those who do not forget to keep clicking the like button. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much. So today we're going to be discussing a very sensitive topic because of how it affects our lives. Now, the topic is, who is your next of kin? So a lot of people, I've seen them, people carrying this notion that once they fill in a form and they put in a next of kin, or once they say, oh, this person is my next of kin, when the situation arises, they automatically feel that, this person is to take over my property upon my demise, or this person is an important or will be a deciding entity upon my death. But unfortunately, this notion is wrong. So today I'm going to be enlightening you by first asking you, who do you think a next of kin is? So when you get a question, who is your next of kin, what first of all comes into your mind? Now, a next of kin is anybody who is close to you and can make decisions where you are not available, quote and unquote. So your next of kin is somebody that can be called on first prompt when there is emergency, or where you are incapable of making a decision either due to unavailability or disability or whatever could happen at that time that would make you or render you incapable of making a decision. Your next of kin is the first person they would call. So now, while clarifying that okay, who is your next of kin, I'm going to be telling you, whenever you're filling that form, whenever you were responding to the question of who is your next of kin. So what is the implication of you naming a next of kin or appointing a next of kin? Peradventure, you are in a place and they ask you to fill a form and they write next of kin, who is your next of kin, and you're supposed to fill in that name. When making that decision of who to appoint or who to name, I want these things to cross your mind, to be on your mind, because it will help you to know the kind of person or who you want to name as your next of kin. Number one, when you name that person as a next of kin, that is the first person that will be contacted in peradventure anything happens to you. Two, ensure that that person you are naming has every information and detail about you, about your life, about your properties, about your medical details, about whatsoever you can think of. Three, that person will be able to make the right decisions peradventure there is a medical emergency. Four, be sure that whoever you are appointing is trusted enough to have your best interest at heart at all times, and who is empowered to make the right decisions for you when you are not available. So these are the four things that should be on your mind or in your mind when next you are filling that form of a next of kin. So what a next of kin is not. One, a next of kin will not automatically inherit your property upon your demise. So peradventure you have been naming your next of kin, and you have this at the back of your mind that this person will automatically take over my property upon my demise. No, that is not going to be the case. Number 2, this person will not be legally or equitably entitled to your estates. Or let me couch it again. This next of kin may not be legally or equitably entitled to your estate. And why did I say may not? Reason is because where you have a next of kin that is in no way connected to you by blood, or where you have a next of kin that is not your family member. So peradventure a person dies intestate, that is, you die without a will, maybe legally through customary succession or succession by the English law, maybe this person will be entitled one way or the other to part of your property. So if this person is not your blood relations, they will never be entitled to your property, except the person is a child who has been adopted. So a next of kin is also not superior to the beneficiaries named in your will. So peradventure, you already have a will written down, lodged at the probate, but this so-called next of kin is not available, is not named in your will. This person will not in any way benefit from your will. Now, a next of kin also can be exempted from the legal processes and laws of inheritance. So which means that a next of kin cannot in any way administer your property upon your death, or be an executor upon your death, or be in any way involved in benefiting from your wealth when you are no longer alive. So it could come to a point where you begin to ask me, Tommy, so why do it? Then it's not necessary for me to fill the form now when they ask me, if it is not going to meet the intentions behind me filling that form. Now, a next of kin may not or does not possess a legal authority over your property, but a next of kin can see to the proper execution or proper administration of your wealth or of your property or estate upon your demise. I can hear someone asking me a question and saying, so how do I make my next of kin benefit from my estate or from my property? Sometimes you could like someone so much or love someone so much, and they are not in any way blood related to you, and yet you have a desire to allow them benefit from you, either your estate or from your estate or your wealth upon your demise. Now, in such situations, I would always advise people or clients or individuals to ensure that they write their will. Your will speaks for you upon your death. And your will, when it is properly done, when all legal criteria are fulfilled, it cannot be contested. No one can go against the wish or the statements of a valid will. So I would say, if you have the intention of allowing your next of kin to benefit from your property, write it expressly in your will. Oh, I want Mr. A of Lagbaja Avenue to have my property at so place with so details. When it is expressly stated, it cannot be contested. so that your next of kin would have that property, would share in your wealth as you so desire. So sometimes people would ask, how do I? Peradventure I'm not around. Peradventure upon my death, and I want my next of kin to be in charge of my properties, or to administer my estate upon my demise. Maybe peradventure you are still at the point where you are writing that will. Let's assume you have minors as children who you want them to benefit from your properties, who are supposed to legally inherit your properties. But at the point where you are administering or you are writing that will, your kids or your heirs, they are still minors. You can empower your next of kin as an executor in your will. So what does that mean? It means that you will name your next of kin as an executor in your will. In that way, that is the only way they will be able to legally oversee the administration of your estate or properties. They would ensure that everything that is named in your will, or everything that is stated in your will, is properly carried out. So if you are thinking, if this topic is giving you a rethink, I've seen a situation whereby people have close relatives named as their next of kin, but they do not trust this person to carry out actions or make decisions in their best interest. I would come to tell you that there are peculiar circumstances whereby your blood relative need not be your next of kin. You could have a close friend, a trusted person, an ally, who will be able to say, oh, and if Tommy or if Akin is to be in this situation, this is what Akin will do, or this is what Tommy will do. Such persons can be named as next of kin. And you can also go a step further, as I've stated earlier, to ensure that these persons are named either as executors in your will or as beneficiaries in your will. Now, the painful thing is that where a person does not have a will, there is no way your intentions can be carried out, which means your will, or your properties rather, or your estate will be shared, will be administered by the government according to the law of whether you're a Christian, or according to the Islamic law or English law, as the circumstance presents itself. So who would you want to, in normal circumstances, or who would I advise you to use as your next of kin? From what we've discussed so far, I would always advise anybody to ensure that whoever you are making your next of kin at any point in time, let it be someone that you trust and has your best interest and at heart. And definitely, the person should not be a minor. A minor cannot make decisions on your behalf. I believe that with all that we've said so far, you will know that writing a will has more advantages than disadvantages. And like I said in my previous episode, one of the episodes we did on wills and trust, writing a will is not making a dead wish. It is actually empowering you, carrying out your intentions upon your demise. So if from this video, from this session, you have questions that you would like to ask, or inquiries you'd like to make, or you need further clarifications, kindly send me a comment or your questions in the comment section, and be sure that I will be there to answer you. Or you could chat me up on WhatsApp or DM me via our Instagram handle, and I will be sure I will be there to attend to you. So once again, as I said, thank you. I want to encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, click on the like button, and share generously with your audience as we see again next week.